The previous video where I stopped at the DML. So DML means data manipulation language. If you want to do the anything, previously we have seen the DDL, that is a data definition language which deals with the structure of the table. When it comes to the DML, it's a data manipulation language. Data manipulation language, we have some commands. It is a select, insert, delete and select, insert, update and delete. This all comes under the DML. Select. So first, we are going to write select, insert, delete and update. These are the 4 commands that we use in the DML. So first what I will do, I will create a table. Normally I will create a table because I need a table, right? I will create a table name as test. It is a DCL, DML underscore test or temp, whatever I want. Then next I will create a columns, id as integer, comma, name as varchar 10, done. Now I created a table that DML underscore temp and I will delete that. So there is a table called DML underscore temp I have created, right? That table has 2 columns. What are the column? ID comma name. These are the 2 columns that we have in the table. Now what I want, I want to insert a data into the table. For inserting a data into a table, you will always use a insert command. So I will just give insert into, what is the table name? DML underscore temp. And what I want to, so this is a structure. Insert into is a normal standard you follow and you will give the table name. After writing, you will give the values. After writing the values, then you will give 2. What is the order by things we have in the DML temp? I will go to the table, refresh. See, DML temp has 2 columns, that is the ID and name. So first you need to give in the same order, you need to give the values in the same order. ID as 1, name I will give it as A and I will close bracket. What happens here is that name is of varchar 10, right? Always if you want to give, except integer or float, if you want to give varchar, if you want to give characters, if you want to give some text data type, always it should start with quotes, single quotes and end with a single quote. Always you need to follow that method. Okay, whenever you want to insert a characters or varchar type or text type, you should always start and end with the quotes. You can keep that entire data in it quotes, that's it. Now when I will do, what happens? I will get a data. I got a data. I inserted a data into a table. Now I want to see the data in the table. So what I will do? Select. Star is to get all the columns. We are going to work on this. Select star from table name. What is the table name? We have DML underscore temp. Now when I do, I will get column names, ID name, see, and I got the values because I inserted 1 comma A, right? I got the values. Now what I will do, this is the one way you can do. Other way is that, see, I want to give this way. I want to give first in the next step. Okay, I will do this, I will copy this one, I will give it here. In the next step, what I am going to do, I am going to give name here. First I will give name, after that I will give ID. Previous one I have given first as integer and second one as name. First as ID, second one as a name, because the column order is in the same way. First I am having ID, second I am having name. Okay, I have done. If I want to insert first as a name, second as a ID, like I want to, if I insert B, it should go into the name only, if the 2 values should go into the ID. But what happens now? It will show an error because by default the B will try to insert into the ID, but B is a type of var character, it is a varchar. So when you try to convert varchar into integer, then it will throw an error. See, conversion failed, because actually in our sense we are assuming this as a name and we are expecting this B should go into the name column, right? So for that purpose, you can do it in two way. What you are going to do is that after the table name, you can manually mention the order of the columns. Name, comma, first column B, it goes into the name column, next column it goes into the ID. This is the way you need to provide manually. If you give by default without providing anything, first column will go into the ID and second value will go into the name. But if I give first as a name, second as ID, then you will need to manually mention the system after the table name, stating that I am providing my values will be in this order. So first will be the name, second will be the ID. Now when I insert, I will get B2. So if I do this again, what I will do, I will get 2 comma BC. This is the way. If I want to insert values into only one column, then what I will do, I will go here, I will just delete this one. If I insert value into only column 1, that is I want to insert only ID 3, then what happens? System will throw an error, because by default you are not saying any columns to the system, you are not saying any columns, right? You are not mention, you didn't mention any columns here. So what system assumes? It expects two values, 2 column values from you, because it has 2 columns. So it expects 2 values for each column, but you are passing only one value for one column. So the system is confused where that one value goes, whether this 3 goes into the ID or 3 goes into the name. It is confused. So for that purpose, you need to manually mention I am passing ID only. That's it. When you pass, you will be getting that one. When I do, since you didn't insert the name, right? You insert only ID. What happens for the name? It will by default it will take as null. Null means you didn't pass any value, so by default system will insert a new value called null. Null means there is no value. Okay, null means no value, not there is nothing, empty. Instead of showing empty here, it will show as null. That's it, because we have inserted only ID, right? So this is the way you are going to do. Insert and okay, select we did. Okay, now what I am going to do? Select. When I do select star, what happens? I will be getting all the columns. Star means it will get all the columns from a table. Since I am doing select star, I am getting ID and name. If I want to get only ID, then instead of star, I need to manually mention that column name. That's it. If I do now, then it will show only ID. Okay, if I want name also, then I will give ID comma name. What are the column names I will give? It shows only that column names. Okay. So this is the use of the select. So we have seen insert and select. Next we will go with the other called update. Now if I want to update for the 3 as C name here, where 3 the value is null, right? There I want to update as C. Name, I want to update the name as C, where ID equal to 3. Then what I will do? I can use the update command. There is a command called update. Update table name. Table name is DML underscore temp. And now what I will do? This is a see, nothing to worry. Whatever the syntax, if you see first time you might be it might be little bit confusing, but once or twice if you do 10 times, automatically it is a standard command that we use in our day-to-day basis. So you will always be pretty clear with them. Once you practice them, you will be clear, nothing to worry. So update table name. Update is a normal standard I use. Here is table name. After that I use a set command. Set which column I want to update? Name column equal to C, right? I want to update C. But when I use this command, what happens? See, I am asking it to update name equal to C. Done. What it is going to do? It is going to update all the 3 columns, value C in all the 3 columns. You can test it now. I did. Now when I do, I will have C in all the columns. See, every column, every record has C. ID 1 is having name C, ID 2, but our scenario is that we want to update only for 3. Because when you do this, what happens? The system doesn't understand where to update, so it updates entire table. And now what I am going to do? I am going to reprocess this one. I want to update it 1 as A, 2 as B and 3 as C. Then what I will do? Update name equal to A. I am renaming that, okay, where ID equal to 1. So you are mentioning where id equal to 1, you are updating name as a. I'll do so automatically it will update to a. See, when I do this, see 1 is a, and next I'll update b for 2. That's it. So it is like you can update only one record. Okay. So this is a scenario. Next, I am going to explain about the delete later on. So delete and truncate I am going to cover at the end of the session. Delete and truncate. So in the DDL we have seen create, alter and drop. Truncate we didn't see. In the DML we have seen select, insert and update. We are going to see delete later on at the end of the session. So delete and truncate I am going to explain at the end. So if you have any doubts you can ask me now. We are done with this DML.
Suppose మనకి third column ఉంది.
Uh-huh.
Third మనం create చేసిన DML underscore temp లో third column ఉంది.
Uh-huh.
అక్కడ నేను ఇప్పుడు set name equal to C.
Uh-huh.
Set name equal to something where ID అని ఇచ్చారు కదా, ID బదులు ఆ third column లో ఉన్నది ఇవ్వచ్చా?
Yeah, wherever you want you can give, whatever condition you want you can give. Okay.
రెండిటికి సేమ్ ఉంటే
So it will update 2 records.
ఓకే.
So you are giving the syntax, right? So you are asking, this is your question, right? If I have ID, name and city. Let's say city. ID is 1, 2, 3 and 3. Name is A, B, C, C. Okay. So city, let's say, yeah, something we will say ID and name is some CD. City is Hyderabad, Mumbai, Chennai, okay, and Delhi. So if you give condition, okay, like Chennai, if you give some condition like select or update, table name, something name, set something like city equal to Vijayawada, something, okay, where ID equal to 3. Then what happens? It will go and check for ID 3. So we got 2 records. So it will change the city to Vijayawada. That's it. VJD or something. Okay. Or else.
ఇంకోటి డేటా టైప్ మీద డౌట్, varchar లో న్యూమరిక్స్ తీసుకుంటారా 1 2 3
Yeah. You can insert numerics also. So this is a scenario how the data type conversion works. Okay. Always the data type scenario works here. See, simple. If you have small box and if you have big box, okay, so let's say there is a small box of size like 1 centimeter into 1 centimeter, and there is a big box with 10 centimeters into 10 centimeter size. Now you can fit this 1 centimeter into this 10 centimeter, but you can't fit this 10 centimeter into 1 centimeter, right? Okay, the same way varchar occupies more space, double the space of an integer. So when you try to store varchar into the integer field, it will pop an error because it can't store bigger size into the smaller size, but integer is having smaller size. So you can store integer into the varchar because integer has a smaller size. So now you can see it here. Now I want to update the 2 as 2 to 2. Even though because it is integer, right, I am updating 2 to 2. See, there is not an error. If I do, I will get 2 to 2. Okay. So it is being converted. Always because integer is a smaller space, so it can convert into the bigger, it can store into the bigger space one. Now see, ID I will give some a character, a, because varchar and characters occupy more space, so it cannot be inserted into the integer. See, do you get my point? Hello? Yeah.
భాస్కర్ అనే అప్పుడు ఒకసారి పైకి రండి, ఇందాక ఇన్సర్ట్ ఇచ్చారు కదా,
Yeah.
అక్కడ ఇన్సర్ట్ ఇచ్చినప్పుడు మీరు ఏంటి అంటే ఫస్ట్ నేమ్ ఇచ్చేసారు, నెక్స్ట్ ఏమో ఐడి ఇచ్చారు, అంటే పైన టేబుల్ నేమ్ పక్కన కాలమ్స్ మెన్షన్ చేయకుండా వాల్యూస్ దగ్గర ఫస్ట్ నేమ్ ఇచ్చారు. యా యా ఇక్కడ నేను ఏమంటున్నానంటే ఇక్కడ మనకి డేటా టైప్ వేరే ఇచ్చాం కాబట్టి అది ఎర్రర్ చూపించింది. ఒకవేళ
ఇవ్వకపోతే
తీసుకునేవిస్తే తీసుకుంటుంది కదా.
తీసుకుంటుంది, బై డిఫాల్ట్ తీసేసుకుంటుంది నీకు. ఒకవేళ నువ్వు 3 ఇచ్చినావు అనుకో, 3 కౌంట్ చేస్తే తీసుకుంటుంది, నీకు ఎలాంటి ఎర్రర్ చూపెట్టదు. అందుకోసమే ఇక్కడ ఏంటిదంటే నువ్వు బై డిఫాల్ట్ ఏం చేస్తావంటే దానికి మాన్యువల్గా సిస్టమ్, ఇప్పుడు నువ్వు ఇలా ఇస్తే తప్పు నీకు తెలియదు, ఎందుకంటే నువ్వు ఇలా ఇస్తావని చెప్పి నేను అలా చూపెట్టాను అనమాట సినారియో. ఆల్వేస్ ద బెటర్ స్టాండర్డ్ వి ఫాలో ఈజ్ దట్ వెన్ యూ ట్రై టు ఇన్సర్ట్ మోర్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ కాలమ్స్, సో ఇట్ ఈస్ బెటర్ టు గివ్ multiple, it is better to give the column names also here after table name. So it is a standard so that you will not be confusing. Okay, because let's say you got the name and ID, after some days what happens, you might delete the name, or let's say you give this way, you have one table called ID, name, address, and you will do you insert ID, name and address. So you will insert in this way, insert into you will write some values and you will write the values. Let's say after some days if they delete the name, then what happens? The system will show an error because you will try to insert the values, it will show an error. So normally the standard is that, so give the column names in the insert one if you try to insert more number of columns. Okay. Okay. So if you have any doubts you can ask me. Everyone is good with this? Okay. Next we will go to the DCL. DCL is the same thing, I am not going to cover much. Okay. DCL means data control language. When you use the DCL means if you want to provide access on a table, okay, whenever if you want to provide an access on a table to certain user, so what kind of access? If you want to give only select, see, if I have select permission, I can only do the select query, I can't do the update or insert on the table. If I have insert permission, then I can do the insert on a table, I can't update it. If I have all permissions, then I can insert, I can update, I can do whatever I want. So you can give only select, only insert or only update according to your needs by using DCL. So in the DCL, if you want to do anything, you will use grant and revoke. These are two commands that are there in the DCL. Okay. So the syntax for that is that always you will use same, first you will write grant, after that which one you want, whether you want select, delete or update, so you will write that command type. Okay. And after that on object. Okay. So what is the object? It is a table name, right? You will give object and you will give the table name, anything. Okay. After giving the table name, to whom you want to give that select access, that's it. To whom, give that username, it may be mine or it may be Windows groups, user groups, that's it, done. Okay, simple. Grant is a normal command and select which type of permission you want to give. On object name, object, and this is a name, this is a normal thing, object is a thing you will follow and a name you will give, and after that to whom you are going to provide access, you will give that name. If it is a user group, you will give the user group, if it is a user, you will give the user. Same way revoke also, instead of that same, so if you are given the grant access on the particular table, like if you are given the select permission on a particular table by using grant, okay, but if you want to remove that permission again, then you will use a revoke. Revoke means you are again taking that permission from that user on particular object, that's it. Revoke select on object, the same thing, whatever you have you will be doing the same thing, table name to user group. Okay. So this is for the DCL, grant and revoke. So everyone is clear with this one? It's simple, very rarely you will be using, and in the grant and revoke also they are like, if you go with the grant and revoke, it may take something like 1 day to understand the entire each and everything. There at the table level, if you want to give like a couple of tables, there are many things in this. Okay, but very rarely you will be using them, and only basic things you will be using, that's it. Okay. So everyone is good with this grant and revoke?
Yeah.
Okay. So next we will go with the delete and truncate table. Because I need to select the delete and truncate, right? I said I am going to explain about the delete and truncate, difference between delete and truncate. Now before going to that, I want to explain a clear structure. So this is my table. This table is having ID and name. Okay, this table is having 1, 2, 3, 4 something, and A, B, C, D as a name. Now when I do delete, what happens? I can delete entire data. By using delete, I can delete this one record, or I can delete entire data. Delete. Okay, by using delete, you can delete either one record or entire all the records from a table. But truncate, you can delete all the records. You can't delete one record. Either you should delete. You can only use truncate to delete all the records from a table. Next, at the back end, what happens whenever you use? So you don't know the back end structure of the table, how the data is stored on the table. You don't know anything at the how exactly the data is stored on the database. You have no idea, right? At the back end, whatever the data you enter, all the data will be stored in pages. Every page will have some 256 kilobytes or something. Every data will be stored. If this page is filled, then it will go to the other page. If this page is filled, then it will go to the other page. Okay, the data is stored in the pages. Now when you use delete, what happens? It will go and delete. Suppose let's say you use the delete command to delete all the records from a table. You use the delete command to delete all the records from the table. What happens? When you use the delete, at the back end, since the data is stored in the pages, the data is stored in the pages, what happens? It deletes the record by record. It is going to delete the record by record. When you use a truncate, what happens? If truncate means you can only delete all the records from a table. So instead of doing record by record, it deletes page by page. Example is simple way. Let's say I got one box. This box is having some 100 apples, and I want to move this 100 apples to one location. It's around like 10 meters. Okay, there are two ways to move. I can move one apple at a time, or I can move all the apples at a time. Which one will be faster? Hello? Which one will be faster?
Moving all apples.
Yeah, the same way. Truncate means, delete means it deletes the record by record, but truncate means it deletes page by page. Means truncate will be faster. When you want to delete all the records from the table, then you can use truncate instead of delete. Okay? And that is a major difference between delete and truncate. And other thing, one more thing is that the third point, in the delete command, truncate command, if you set some identity, so here the ID, I am manually inserting this ID. When in the previous example I have shown, right, the table has ID and name, I am manually inserting that ID default, step by step I am manually inserting the ID. So what happens here, since I am manually inserting the ID, I need every time I need to insert. When I insert only, then only that ID will be there in that record. If I don't insert, then it will insert as null value. But if I want to generate some automatic process, I can create some automation on the column. If I insert name, automatically this ID will be created. So in that process, I am going to show you a live example. When you use a truncate, what happens? It is even going to set this automatic process to the beginning of the beginning number, but by delete it will not set that one. Okay. Now we are going to see step by step process. For that purpose, what I am going to do, I am going to create a table. The table will have the test delete truncate delete truncate temp, and I will name the column. See, I will give the ID, and now I will give the type as identity. identity starting from one value, and for each record I want to increment by 1. Next I will give name as varchar. I'll create a table. Done. Now I'll insert values into the table. Insert into, what is the table name? dt underscore temp. Now I'll give only value as name. I'll give only a name. Will it work or not? Will I get any error, or it will be successfully completed? Can anyone say? Because the table has 2 columns, that is ID and name, but I am inserting only name, and even I am not mentioning any column that I am inserting. So what system should do now? Hello?
Yeah.
So what system will be doing now? Huh? Why error? Okay, you say it is error, right? But it will insert. I will not be getting any error. See, why? Because select star from temp, dt temp, because I have given identity here. Since I have given identity, even though I didn't pass, the system will, so whenever you pass name, system will not accept, it will not it will not allow any value to be inserted into that ID column. It will ignore that column. It will think that that column doesn't exist. So whatever value you pass, it will take that value into the name only. Now when I see I got name, even though I didn't given the ID, because since I have given the while declaring the column, I have given the type as identity. So what happens? Automatically the first record will be given as ID 1, and then from the next record it will increment that ID 1 plus 1. Okay, it will increment 1 plus 1. So when I insert it B, what happens? It will show me the 2 comma B now. See, okay. Now see, let's see, if I try to insert one more record called 3 comma B, what happens? The system will throw an error, because ID is an identity, so it is, but you are inserting some values. See, can only be specified when a column list is used as an identity insert. That is the difference. So since it is identity, then it is not allowing you to insert values into the ID, and it will not expect that column from you also. It will not expect that column from you. So there is no need. You can directly give the name. Okay. Now see what happens. I got that when I do the select star from dt temp, I'll get the data that I have in my column 1 comma A, 2 comma B. Now if I want to delete the record 2, so for deleting I can do it in 2 ways. Delete from table. Okay, the table name is dt underscore temp. When I do this, what happens? It is going to delete all the records, but I want to delete where ID equal to 1. It's a where condition, where ID equal to 1, ID equal to 2. So what happens? It will only delete the record where ID equal to 2. Okay. As I said in the first step, when I do, there is no ID for 2. As I said in the first step, right? By using delete, you can delete one record, or you can delete all the records. By using truncate, in the truncate you can't use this command. You can't use this where condition in the truncate. So you can use that where condition in the delete. Okay. I got it. So now what I do, I will do select star from, I got it 1 comma A. Now if I again insert a value B, what will be the ID for value B? Can anyone say? Hello? See, instead of getting 2, I got a 3 value. If I delete where ID equal to 3, I delete the where ID equal to 3. Done. Now when I do the select star from, I got only ID 1. So next time when I insert, normally we expect that it should be value 2, right? But it will not. It will be the previous value. The last time when we inserted, it was assigned value 3, right? Now automatically system will assign the value 3 plus 1. So you will get the value as 4 comma B. It is a standard. You will get that one. So when I do the select star from, I will get 4 comma b. So if I delete, instead of using where condition, what I will do, I will not use a where condition, I will just delete the table. I got it. So now if I see anything, there will be no data, right? There will be no data in a table. See, there is no data. Now if I insert any record, from where do I will get the what will be my ID for value b? Can anyone say? Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
What will be my value for ID? What will be my ID? 1. But it will not be 1. It will start from the previous. Last time when I insert it was 4, right? Now it will be 5. So by using delete, you can't reset this ID. But when I use a truncate is the same way. Okay? Truncate also you can delete. Truncate table name, it is a dt underscore temp. When I use this in the truncate, I can't use a where condition. It's an error. Okay? You can use where condition only and delete. So when I use a truncate, executed, see there is nothing. When I do select star from, there is nothing. But when I do this, now that ID value will set to 1 and from there I will start getting. See now, when I do this, now it will have 1 comma b. Instead of having 6 comma b, 6b, it will have 1b. Means when you do the truncate, it will delete the data. At the same time, it will reset the identity to 1, because I have said that the identity starts from 1 and it will increment by 1, right? So it will reset the ID to the starting value by using truncate. Okay? These are the major differences between a truncate and delete. So by using delete, you can delete one record or many records. Okay? By using truncate, you need to delete. You can only delete all the records. You can't delete only a few selected records. Okay? And by using delete, when you use a delete, the records are deleted record by record. When you use truncate, it will delete page by page. Okay? And when you use a delete command, the identity property is not reset. You will call it as identity property on a column. But when you use truncate, the identity property will be automatically reset. One more thing, to see which identity value do I have on the table, I can write select @ identity. When I use this, what happens? It will show me what is the current identity that I am having on a table. See, it is showing 1 now. If I insert a value b now, again what happens? It will be now, when I do select star from, it will be 2 comma b, right? See, 2b. Now automatically the system will store the 2 in a table. So somewhere, some location, so that you can get by using @ identity. Now when I will do, I will get 2. See, and if I delete the values from the table, even though I delete values, there is no value on the table. Even though there is no value, see, now if I see the identity, what happens? It will still show 2. When I do the truncate, when I do the identity, it will show the 2, because whatever the value we have inserted last on the table, it will store in the database. But when you try to insert next time, then it will be reset at that time, not when you do the truncate, it will not reset automatically at that time. It will reset when you try to insert the next value. Now when you see the identity, it will show as 1. Okay? So this is between the difference between the truncate and delete. I am going to stop this video. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now.